Hey, Pam. I was wondering about your answer, to my marriage proposal. What do you say?
That again, huh?
Yeah, sorry if I'm being overly persistent, but it's been 5 months since I proposed, and it's really bugging me. If you have a reason for turning me down, I want you to be honest and tell me.
Well, not sure how to say this, but I still want to make sure, I guess.
Make sure? Huh? Make sure about what?
Yeah, I want to make sure Matt, if you're really good for me.
But now? Do you want me to make sure now? I mean, we've been going out for 4 years now. Are you still not sure? Also, when Carl suggested we live together first, you were a bit wishy-washy about that, too. I really would appreciate some kind of reaction from you. You keep giving me the runaround.
Reaction, huh? Yeah, okay. You brought up my brother's name, so this may just be the opportune time.
Opportune?
Okay, I'm gonna be straight with you then. About your annual income, it's way lower than Carl's, right?
Huh?
Come on, it's lower, right?
Yeah, well, I guess. I never really talked about it, but yeah, I guess his income is higher. He works at a foreign firm, and his sales record is way up there at the top, right? Besides, he's like 10 years older than either of us. I've only been working for 3 years, so he's way ahead of me. I mean, it's obvious he would be making more.
Yeah, I guess you're right. My brother, boy, he is really awesome, isn't he?
Huh? Hey, Pam, aren't we getting a little sidetracked here?
Sidetracked? What do you mean?
I mean, Carl's annual income has nothing to do with my marriage proposal to you.
Well, actually, it's got everything to do with it.
Really? Why?
So, that's that, so I'm sorry.
Huh?
Your marriage proposal, I'm gonna pass on it. I'm really sorry.
But why? At least give me a reason!
Well, I have to marry someone that will surpass my brother. I hope you understand.
Huh? Are you serious? That's a little insulting, don't you think? I agree that Carl is a great guy and all that, and I really do respect him, but he's been working for 10 years and I've only been working 3 years, straight out of college. How could you compare the two? Comparing the two of us just doesn't make sense.
But the fact is that my brother Carl is way more awesome than you. You should be grateful. I gave you 3 years since joining the company to make something of yourself. Matt, I really thought you were the one. I was sure you would be able to surpass my brother Carl. But I'm sorry to say that the 3-year wait was just a waste of time. So sorry. I hope you understand.
Are you being serious?
I am, and since the whole thing is off, we no longer have to meet. See ya.
Huh? Wait!
I'm gonna block you. Nice talking to you. Bye-bye. Hey, Matt, I heard. Are you okay?
Hey sis, what's up?
I heard it all from Carl. Didn't really know how I should contact you. Hey, cheer up, little brother.
Sorry to worry you.
And Carl, he feels really bad about the whole thing. It seems Pam has had an almost abnormal love for her older brother since they were kids. He was actually taken aback by the demands, comparing you to Carl. He's really disheartened about the whole thing. Thinks it's all his fault.
Yeah, I get it. After all, it was Carl who introduced me to Pam 3 years ago. But please tell him it's not his fault. He had nothing to do with it. Tell him not to feel bad about the whole thing.
Okay, not a problem. I'll tell him. Are you, Matt, you really going to be okay?
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Don't worry. My buddy took me out drinking the other day and got an earful of all of my grievances. I'm sure he had a good time. My heart was a bit wounded, but I'm starting to feel better. I'll get over it.
Well, that makes me feel way better.
Hey sis, can I blow off steam with you on occasion?
What? For sure. Blow up all the steam you want. That's why I sent you the line message. Steam away.
Thanks, sis. Really appreciate it. Really. Always so manly.
Hey, excuse me, but I'm a woman.
Maybe I should call you Master Yoda. Huh?
Huh? Am I so shriveled up and windy? Well, if you can make jokes like that, you're gonna be just fine, little brother.
I'm glad I talked to you, sis. I feel way better already.
So, I also hear you're coming home at the end of the month.
Yeah, figured I could talk with Dad. He would be able to get me back on track again. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I guess I'll head home then too. Let's all sit down and have a few drinks. It'll be fun for a change.
Yeah, that sounds great. Cheers!
Hey Matt, it's been a while. There was something I wanted to ask you. Do you have a bit of time?
Yeah, what's up? It's been ages. Can I help you with something?
Yeah, my brother, Carl, he's getting married.
Yeah, I know.
So you also must know who his wife-to-be will be, Michelle, right?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I? Michelle is my sister.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So I take it you had no idea.
No, I didn't.
When Carl introduced me to you, he said I was his girlfriend's younger brother.
Yeah, I guess I forgot all about that. I got it all wrong. I thought he said you were someone's brother from work.
Yeah, well, my sister works at the same office as Carl. There's no doubt about that. But it really doesn't matter. It's all in the past. So, what is it you want? Alrighty, if that's all, see ya.
Please, wait.
Huh? What now?
Matt, I made up my mind. I decided to accept your proposal.
Huh?
I think we're perfect for each other.
But you rejected my proposal a long time ago. And I thought you didn't want a guy whose annual income was less than Carl's.
Please, forget all that. I gave it a lot of thought, and I came to the conclusion that you were the best for me. If you're still angry that I rejected you, please give me another chance. Matt, would you marry me?
Sorry, gonna pass.
Huh?
Our relationship ended when you rejected my proposal years ago.
Yeah, well, I just rejected the proposal. I didn't intend to end our romantic relationship.
You said the whole thing was off and that we no longer had to see each other. Then you blocked me. Yeah, real romantic. Okay then. I'm gonna block you! Nice talking to you! Bye-bye! Remember that?
Huh? Yeah, kinda.
That's what you said the last time we talked. It was clear at that moment that you never intended to see me ever again. And you insist that our so-called romantic relationship hasn't ended? Please, give me a break. If this is a joke, it's not very funny.
It's not a joke. How could you say that? I really care for you, Matt. That's why I contacted you. I'm being serious, really.
Huh? I see. So what are you so serious about, can I ask?
Like I said, I'm serious about getting married.
I don't think that's it.
Why won't you believe me?
Okay, listen up. You know perfectly well that I'm Carl's fiance's brother. On top of that, Carl and I are really close friends now. With all that said, you really think I didn't hear?
Huh? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Hear what?
I'm talking about when Carl and Michelle started living together in preparation for getting married. It was right about that time you started harassing my sister. Right?
Huh? I don't know anything about that.
You snuck behind their backs and made yourself an extra key, and then snuck around the neighborhood where they lived, and when Carl wasn't around, you started giving Michelle a hard time, pestering her constantly. What's more, you used that extra key and snuck into their house, rummaging through her stuff, using it without her permission? But I know my sister. She can handle herself just fine. She talked to Carl about that whole thing. As a result, they decided to move. And so, now you're not able to get in contact with them. Did I leave out anything?
No, that's not right. I was only...
What's not right?
I don't want to criticize your sister, but she's got everything all mixed up is all.
Mixed up. Huh?
Yeah, that's right. Totally delusional. I didn't do anything of the sort. What do I have to be shunned when I didn't do anything? Matt, you're really close with them, right? Could you please tell me where they moved to? You tell me and I'll marry you.
Okay, let me get this straight. I tell you where they moved, and as a consolation prize, I get to marry you. Is that right?
That's right. Pretty good deal, huh?
Not exactly.
Come on, Matt. Stop beating around the bush. I know you want it.
Like I said, I'm gonna pass.
Well, that was before you knew that your sister was delusional. Now that you know it was all a mix-up by your sister, no problem.
It's no mix-up. It's fact.
I'm starting to sound like a broken record. I said I didn't do anything.
Let's get one thing straight. Their actions were based on sound evidence. They made sure of that.
Evidence?
They installed numerous security cameras in the house, and Michelle always carried around a tiny IC recorder. So with that, they collected all the footage of you in the house and your nasty comments to my sister. They also listed all the items that were stolen. Michelle took all this evidence and showed it to Carl, and they made the decision to move, without informing you.
But then that means...
Once my sister sets her mind to it, she will not stop until she's 100% satisfied. I'm sorry to say, you are not in the same league as her. I suggest you back off for your own good.
But you can't. If my brother sees all the stuff I did, he'll hate me forever.
Oh, so you admit you did all that stuff?
But I couldn't just let it go. I never expected my brother to get married.
What are you talking about?
I mean, my brother is going to be taken away from me. Obviously, I would try to stop it and take him back. And you too, Matt. You're just keeping up appearances, aren't you? I bet you're jealous as hell that your sister's being taken away from you.
No, not really.
No way! How could you not feel resentful?
Resentful? No, not at all.
Come on, you're lying. Hey, I'm in the same predicament as you. I understand your feelings. We're like two peas in a pod. So, we get married, you tell me where my brother is, everyone's happy.
I keep trying to tell you. Yeah, I am really fond of my sister. In fact, I love her dearly. But, unlike your abnormal brotherly love, or obsession, I should say, I don't go screwing things up for them.
Huh?
Besides, it's been quite a long time since they've been seeing each other. It was like 2 years ago that Carl proposed to my sister.
Huh? That long ago?
They were both pretty busy and couldn't get enough time to tie the knot. That's all. If, as you say, I was so obsessed with my sister, don't you think I would have done something about it a long time ago?
Well, I guess.
What if I did make a fuss and tried to take my sister away from Carl? I can just see you getting all upset with me about hurting your precious brother, right?
Yeah, well, I can't imagine anybody disliking my brother.
Are you starting to realize what you're saying? Everything you're saying is contradictory.
Huh?
You say I would probably be really jealous if someone took my sister away from me. You also say you can't imagine anybody disliking your brother. So which is it? Do you want me to be friends with Carl, or do you want me to hate him? Which is it?
Huh, well, I'm just saying.
And another thing. I consider Carl more than a brother. A true friend. So I'm happy for them. And hope they have a good life together.
But that's...
About my sister marrying, I'm happy for her. But it's her life. She can do how she pleases. But I do know this. I don't want anything to do with someone who would marry me just to get her brother back.
But why?
You figured if you married me, you would never be separated from your brother, am I right? Well, it's all for nothing, actually. I'm already married.
Huh?
I got married earlier this year.
You're not serious. Wait a second. What about me? What happens to me? How am I gonna find out where my brother is? At least have him meet me so we can talk. I'll head over to your place right away.
Not sure that's possible. I moved out of state. With the whole family.
What? Where?
Anyways, I already rejected your proposal, so no need to meet anymore, right? See ya!
Please, wait just a sec!
Bye-bye. Gonna block you. After learning of Pam's abnormal obsession and relentless pestering of Michelle, Carl was furious. My sister took all the evidence she had and showed it to Pam's parents. Pam's parents were very fond of Michelle and liked Carl. They were infuriated with her actions. But Pam, being Pam, felt no remorse for what she did and was eventually kicked out of the house. Pam had quit her job and lived life as what's called a NEET, and after bunking with various friends, she eventually met some guy and started living with him. Turns out the guy was actually married, just living away from home temporarily due to his job or something. After that, all I heard was she got deeply into debt and started working the nightlife, if you know what I mean. As for Carl and Michelle, yep, happily married, and, as was their longtime dream, working and living overseas. Last I heard, they were having a great time over there.
Sarah's mom! Hey! Is now a good time?
Hey, Leo's mom. I'm on my lunch break right now, so it's fine.
Huh? Your lunch break? Does that mean you have a job?
That's right. I'm on my break at the minute.
Oh dear. I did have my suspicions, but it looks like I was right.
You were right? About what?
Your household is poor, right?
What? Why?
I mean, I get the impression your husband doesn't make much money.
Based on what?
He always goes to work in those worn-out clothes. And isn't a single room a bit of a cramped place to live for a family of 3? What's more, if your husband's on such a low salary that you have to work too, he must be a real good-for-nothing, no? How tragic!
No, we're not struggling to get by as much as you seem to think. I've been working at this company since before we got married.
Oh dear, I see. So even if you wanted to quit, you wouldn't be able to because of your scruffy good-for-nothing husband!
No, those clothes are a hobby of his.
Wearing worn-out clothes is a hobby?
He likes clothes with a damaged look.
That's actually a pretty good excuse. Lol. Oh well. I suppose that's what you get for choosing him in the first place.
Like I said, we're not struggling to get by as much as you seem to think.
But you can't make ends meet without the both of you working?
Both me and my husband are in positions of responsibility at our respective workplaces.
Maybe so, but a position of responsibility could mean all sorts of things. For example, being a factory manager at the biggest company in the region, like my husband. Oh, by the way, did you know he got promoted just as we moved here? It's hard to be a stay-at-home housewife in this day of age if your husband doesn't have a job like that, huh?
So was there a reason you contacted me?
Oopsie, forgive me. So you know how we only moved here a month ago? We were thinking of buying an extra cabinet and some shelves for the house. But we don't know where to get them. But of course, we can't go buy anything cheap.
In that case, how about checking out the furniture shop on the bypass? Naturally, they have domestically made stuff. But they also have trendy foreign furniture too. I recommend it.
Oh, really?
You should be able to get there on one stop from the bus station near your house.
You know a lot for someone so poor. Thanks! I didn't think it'd be nice if we went together, but that's probably no can do if you're at work.
Sorry, it's rush hour for us now. I can't clock off early without a good reason.
I I see. Oh well, it can't be helped. I'm sure you could take every last hour you can get to scrape by whatever money you can.
I'm gonna head back to work now, so was that all?
Yeah, sorry, I kept you for so long.
Bye. Leo's mom, do you have a minute?
I do. What is it?
Sarah wouldn't stop crying when I went to pick her up after kindergarten today.
Oh?
When the teacher asked her why, apparently she told him Leo said,
You'll catch pox if you play with poor people.
"What have you been telling him?"
Oh, come on. Don't get so upset. I'm just teaching my son the rules of the world.
Rules?
Actually, it might be hard to understand for a low-income family.
Excuse me?
After all, I heard you hardly ever show up to our mother's meetings, where we all go out for lunch or tea.
Well, I'm working, so I can't do weekdays.
Which means, unlike me and the other wealthy moms who can afford to be stay-at-home housewives, you can't make ends meet unless both of you and your husband are out working.
I do my best to tag along when they invite me on my days off.
But it's true that your attendance rate is low. Basically, you use your job as a pretext not to go so you can keep the expenses down. You know, it's difficult for us to get along with people with such drastically lower standards of living because we have to be careful not to upset you. That's why I'm sorry, but please join a group of low-class moms instead.
Low-class moms? I mean, I don't really care, but I don't think you should be indoctrinating your children with your own prejudices.
Good grief. You just don't get it, do you? Associating with poor children is bad for my son's intellectual and cultural development. It's a parent's duty to keep a watchful eye and choose good friends for their child.
Oh, by the way, I heard you said the same things to Aya's mom because she's a single mother. You should stop teaching your children to discriminate against people because of perceived notions of superiority and inferiority based on how much money they make.
Yeah. If you're going to make comments like that, at the very least, wait until you've improved your standard of living to the point that your husband doesn't have to wear worn-out clothes. Sarah's mom! I see your husband's going to work in worn-out clothes as usual. Poor people are so tragic.
Good evening. Whether you insult me out of the blue is your business, but at least say hello first.
I have an example to share with you of what it's like to be a real celebrity. So I very kindly decided to message you.
Please, go ahead. Now that you mention it, you haven't messaged me in over a month. And you ignored me when I went to pick up my daughter from the kindergarten. Apparently, you were also whispering something about worn-out clothes when my husband went to pick her up after work.
Good grief, stop sulking. You should feel honored that a celebrity like me is even talking to you.
So, what do you want? I'll be getting ready for bed soon.
Oh, do forgive me. It just so happened that the CEO of the company my husband works for invited the two of us to go to his house on Sunday.
Okay, so what?
Apparently, it's a housewarming party to celebrate the completion of the new two-family house for him to live in with his daughter and her husband. All of the company's top executives are invited. My husband's a factory manager, so of course he'll be going. And guess what? I heard his daughter and future successor, the managing director, is the same age as me. I can't see any harm in us getting along.
I see. Well, I hope it ends up being that easy for you.
Good grief, you're not jealous, are you? I suppose being from a family so poor the breadwinner has to wear clothes full of holes. You wouldn't possibly be able to appreciate the inner workings of the celebrity world. Lol. Looks like the gap in status between us got even bigger. I do hope you can forgive me. Oh, I just can't wait for Sunday. Sarah's mom? What are you doing in a place like this?
Oh, Leo's mom, hey.
Not hey! How on earth did you sneak in here? You can't do that! A daft groveler like you shouldn't be mingling with us in here. On top of that, I just saw you being all pally with the CEO, the owner of this house. What the hell are you scheming?
Scheming.
Oh no, you didn't! Are you having an affair? Aiming to marry into money, are we?
Oh, come on. There's no way I'd do that. Your thinking's gone way off the deep end.
Whatever. I don't give a damn about that reason. Hurry up and get out. It's embarrassing for me as a mother of the same kindergarten as you.
Even if you tell me to go,
Come on, make it snappy.
why do I have to get out of my own house?
What? Don't talk such nonsense. This house belongs to the CEO of the company my husband works at as a factory manager. I know you're probably tired from living in a life of poverty, but I think your delusions have gotten out of control.
I'm not delusional at all. This is my house.
Didn't I just tell you?
This is the two-family house me and my husband had built, so we could live with my dad.
What?
If you don't believe me, why don't you ask your husband, the factory manager? They see each other all the time at work, both being executives and all, so he'll tell you straight away.
Executives? Huh? Wait a second. What you're saying makes no sense. What about the one-room apartment you're living in?
The floor plan does include a one-room studio, but there's also a 5-room apartment attached. Me and my family are living in the 5-room apartment. It was only ever a place for us to stay temporarily while this place was being built, so we moved out last week.
Huh? What? But I never heard anything about that.
Yeah, because I never told you.
Why didn't you say something earlier? How awful of you to keep quiet this whole time.
You mean like, hey, my dad's the CEO. Guess what? My husband's the managing director? We're hardly familiar enough for me to tell you every detail of my private life.
What?
Besides, would you even have believed me if I told you? Wouldn't you just call me delusional without listening to a word I said no matter what I told you?
No, that was...
So, not correcting you was intentional. It's enough for me that my other mom friends, who I get along with, understand.
Huh? No way! That can't be! You can say what you like, but I know you've already been excluded from the other mom groups.
Even since the beginning, me and those moms you got along with so well since Leo's first day at kindergarten were never friends at all.
Huh? But aren't the celebrity moms the boss mom group at kindergarten? How can there be moms you can get along with when you're ostracized from the boss mom group? Isn't that a little odd? Explain yourself.
You do know that boss mom is just a name they gave themselves, right?
What? It is?
Sure. They can come from rich households. but you could say they're a little bit quirky. You'll probably understand better if you just think of them as the group who doesn't fit in with the other moms.
You're kidding! That's how the group formed? But what about your husband? What about those worn-out clothes? Surely he had no need to dress like that if his wife was really as important as you claimed you are.
Like I said, they're made to look damaged. It's fashion. He wears them because he likes them.
What? Fashion?
My husband also works for a company as their fashion designer. They have a free dress code, so he's free to coordinate his outfits in line with his taste as much as he likes.
I don't understand.
By the way, the guy in the tailored jacket's speaking to my dad, the CEO, right now.
Oh, that handsome devil?
That's my husband.
No, that can't be. He's the man who wears the ripped clothes?
I told you, they're made to look that way. He is capable of discerning the time and place to wear certain things, so relax.
But...
Excuse me. My dad's asking me to give an address to the group. I have to go now. Bye. My dad called me over as I was messaging on my phone in the corner. As I gave my speech with mic in hand, I caught sight of Leo's mom quietly sneaking out. I did wonder if she'd give up, but at the beginning of next week, she did a spectacular about-face and was suddenly trying to make everyone think we were best friends. However, word of her attitude had already spread by then, so all the other moms had had enough of her. She even got kicked out of the self-proclaimed boss mom group, and now she's completely alone. On the other hand, our kids are getting along just fine now. I'm so relieved about that. A few days later, her husband, the factory manager, apologized to me profusely. After seeing his wife's line chat history and wanting to keep a closer eye on her around Leo, he decided they all move in with his parents. I am fairly certain it's not a two-family house, though. Good luck, Leo's mom.